Hey, everybody, welcome once again to Nerds with Alcohol. I am Russ.
And I'm Chris.
And this is episode 189. 189, back in our virtual nerd basements, ladies and gentlemen. We are only 11 episodes away from 200.
Yes, we are.
It's amazing. Yes, welcome once again to our COVID-19 quarantine coronavirus extravaganza. It's our virtual podcast here. Chris and I have been, of course, doing it virtually for the last few months.
Yep.
Because of this this wonderful situation that we are in, and I was talking to some old friends the other day about this, about our show and everything, and just kind of telling her about what was going on. She doesn't listen, but I know her brother does. So Kevin, nice to see you. Your ex-wife and one of my very best friends, Kelly. It was her birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
I surprised the hell out of her by calling her before dark.
Oh, wow. You actually called her.
I called her, sure. Yeah, I gave her a call. Give her a big tickle. She was very, very happy about that.
Yeah, I just messaged her on Facebook.
Yeah, I did that too, but I give her a call. Because I was like, it was funny, because I woke up yesterday morning and I go, man, whose birthday? It's the beginning of August. Whose birthday? Well, my sister's birthday.
Is that your phone that keeps chiming?
Yeah, that was my phone. And my computer. Anyway, I go, so whose birthday? Oh, yes, my sister's birthday is coming up. And there goes my other birthday. My other sister. Her birthday's coming up too. I should give her a call. And I said I will make sure that I gave her a call before it got dark. And before anybody else had to remind me.
So we got a little bit of a new setup.
What's that?
We got a new setup, a new look to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Hopefully people like it. It's just something I've been playing around with.
Yeah, we're just kind of constantly and always kind of playing around with things.
Every time Russ's phone dings, a nerd rolls a natural one.
Yes, that's true. Actually, I've gotten. I've actually had people tell me that. So. But I think what I got to do is I got to make sure that I don't sit so close to the camera, because otherwise my head takes up the entire fucking screen.
Head.
So
move.
That's like an orange on a toothpick. It's like Sputnik. It's got its own weather system. Love that fucking movie. Name the movie, ladies and gentlemen.
I can.
No, you don't, kids. You're not. It don't. No. Let's see if anybody else can. How was your week?
It was all right. Good things. My leg's getting better. So that's good. Although I tell you what, I'm a little frustrated today. Just my frustration level's kind of high. So yes, good job.
Exactly. Thank you, Stefan.
I knew he'd know it. So it's one of those things where my frustration level's high. It's just work wasn't overly stressful. It was a little stressful today, but it's also just a lot of other things going on. I mean, the weather was nice. I like that. It's nice and cool today. But
the weather has been really nice. The last few days have been real kind of cool and low 70s or something. By the end of the week, it's supposed to get back up into the mid 80s. So enjoy it while you can. I will say though, the rain has been kind of nice having a couple of rainy days. But man, my friends in New Jersey just got hammered by a hurricane.
Oh yeah,
like kind of destroyed shit, man. It's crazy.
But yeah, so I'm just kind of getting fed up with the quarantine and the COVID shit. I'm tired of it. I'm getting frustrated with the boot. It's just a lot of things building up, and I'll be fine in a little bit. One of the things is that I'm one that I basically blow up and then I calm down. I just got to get that out, and then once I explode, then I'm good and I'm back to normal. So
yeah, I can dig it. I think it's an Irish thing.
Yeah,
or a Celtic thing.
Yeah, it's the Irish temper.
My buddy Lee that I used to work with. I've talked to him. I talked about him before. His Irish accent was so thick, half the time couldn't understand him. But he was the kind of guy that would blow up at you like he was ready to straight up fucking murder you. Like he was so mad, and you were scared out of your mind because he's a big man. And he was like, "Oh, like, my God, we're good." And then 5 minutes later, he'd be like, "All right, I'm good." I mean, it fucking happened to me one time. I used to work with him in the bar. I screwed up. It was a misunderstanding, big misunderstanding. And he's like ready to kick me out of the fucking place. And like, look, man, calm down just for a minute. Let me explain. And he's like, and he listened and he's like, all right, fine, just be careful and watch your mouth and blah, blah. Like, look, okay. And then I was mentoring attending at the time. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, because he was like ready to fire me, throw me out of the bar, and I'm just sitting there like just stunned. And I kid you not, 15 minutes later, he comes into the men's room, washes his hands, and goes, "So, how's your day?" What do you mean, how's my day? You just tore me a new asshole. That was 15 minutes ago. Quit dwelling in the past. Right. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, the weekend was pretty good though, because I mean, I had gaming 2 nights in a row, which 10 hours of gaming inside of 24 hours is a lot.
It is a lot, particularly when you're running it.
Yeah, and I was running both games. So Friday night was actually a blast, though. I had an absolutely great time Friday night.
We had a great time. We had a fight that almost a flaming skull, a fight with a flaming skull, and a bunch of ghouls that almost took the party out.
It was actually zombies and the flame skull. That's what you guys. Yeah, those are actually zombies that you guys were fighting there. Yeah.
So not as nasty as the ghouls we had fought earlier.
Right. Yeah. Earlier was the ghoul fight. This was the zombie fight.
So 6 zombies and a flaming skull. So the flaming skull. I think it was the toughest part about that was that the zombies were distracting us. We were trying to take out the zombies, and while we were doing that, the flaming skull kept lobbing fucking spells at us. Yep. And taking, and just kind of, whittling us down. And
you guys had your first fireball dropped on you too.
Yeah, that was fun. Thankfully, I made that save. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, I mean, nobody died. Thankfully, I don't even think anybody went down. But we had some.
There were some that were close. Yeah.
They were real close. Yeah, and like our cleric was, I've never been so close. I've never been so out of spells.
Yeah, that was the first time he was completely tapped out of spells.
Yeah, it was really funny. So, but we got through it.
Yep.
We got through it.
And then Saturday was my other game, and that one was also fun. It's very different because it's a bunch of us that have been playing together for a really long time. Like some of us have been playing together since we were in high school. So. Right. It's a whole different feel to the game, and they don't like to role play as much as the Friday Night Crew. So
they're more technical about it.
Yeah,
my character does this instead of my character says this instead of actually speaking for the character.
Yeah, that type of thing. So sometimes they get into it and really play. I mean, and Renee's in the group now, so she's bringing some new energy into it, which is kind of cool. Right. And she's got a badass fucking rogue in that too. And rogues are nasty.
Yes, they are. It can be very, very much so. I'll tell you one thing: things have definitely changed a lot. I mean, we've all talked about it. We've all noticed it that D&D has definitely changed a lot from like when we were kids to where it is now. It's a lot more user friendly. It's a lot thanks to the tools and that we have on the computers and stuff like
I love D&D. I love D&D Beyond. I mean, they're not a sponsor, but I do love their program.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we've got all these great things. We got these great tools that make it easier and everything. But the game mechanics has really, I'd say, I mean, they're particularly for gamers like you and I have been doing it since we were kids. You can really see how much more balanced things are now. I mean, when I was a kid and you get in a fight and you're not a fighter class, you could rogues weren't as useful as they are now.
No, they're not.
mages were, once they were out of spells, they were fucked. Now we've got, cantrips that they can cast all day long that are, a lot more effective than they used to be. So rogues are more effective in battle and in combat than they used to be, thanks to sneak attack and things like that. I've seen shit in my own games. I've seen rogues throw down a pretty serious amount of damage, and same thing, like I said, with mages and sorcerers and stuff. I mean, they're not, even after they get down to the bare bones of their spells, they still at least have those cantrips they can toss around and whittle away at enemies,
Yeah, playing a mage is not as... I mean, early level mages were so squishy, and you had so few spells. It was one fight, boom, all right, I'm done. I'm done until tomorrow when I can memorize more spells.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially particularly if you play like a sorcerer. A sorcerer can be a little more meaty than a straight up wizard. They can be. It's just things are a lot more balanced, but at the same time, there still are the opportunity and whatnot to be specialized.
Yeah.
So you still have those roles in your gaming group that are filled by those specific players and those specific character classes. Everybody, you still need a cleric, you still need a healer, of some kind. You still need somebody that's going to check for traps and unlock doors and chests. You still need some kind of battle mage that's going to throw spells and do that area effect damage.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I just want to double check. Can people that are watching and in the chat, can you guys hear me okay? Because I was having some mic problems over the weekend. So
sound fine to me.
Okay, cool. So how was your week though?
I gotta admit I had some downs as well as the ups. Wednesday morning I got a phone call. Well, Monday. My friend Amanda, my former roommate, and Amanda, whom I work with at the Parade Company, came by to pick up a few things, pick up some mail and stuff that had been at the house. And we have been talking about, I'm not back to work yet. And she's back to a little bit working on, because she works specifically on big heads. When she works with me painting too sometimes, but mostly she works on the big head. She's the big head specialist. And we were talking about, just remind Eric, I'm ready to go back whenever we're ready. And so Wednesday morning, I got a phone call from her, and I missed it initially because it was a little early. It was like 10:30 or 11 or something like that, and that's a little early for me. I usually get up around noonish. And so I missed the call, but I called her back. All right, the message was, Russ, just give me a call as soon as you get this. And I called her back, and she, apparently one of our coworkers had not shown up for work for a couple of days. So the boss, and there was no answer. So the boss sent Amanda and Nick to his house, and they unfortunately found him dead. And so it was pretty rough. Hank was only like 3 or 4 years older than me, and we don't know what happened yet exactly. His mother did say that they were going to have, she was going to have an autopsy performed. So it's been, like I said, it's been a week, almost a week. It'll be a week tomorrow since we found out. So it was hard. Hank was a good guy. I mean, he wasn't somebody I hung out with all the time, but I worked with him closely, and I've been working with him for the last few years. And he got very much involved in a lot of the other things when he came to work for Parade Company and met my friend David and myself, and he got involved with a lot of the other art stuff in our community, like the March de Nain Rouge and Theater Bazaar, and some of the other extraneous kind of events that happened from that. So he had kind of integrated himself well into the community, and it's kind of a big shock. The Parade Company were kind of reeling. He was essentially our head carpenter.
Okay.
And it was really, really good. It was really good. It was great. He was a great carpenter, and he did other things too. He was one of those guys that would lend a hand in all kinds of different things. All kinds of different things at the Parade Company, And so we're really feeling it. And I was kind of not good for a few days. I didn't really want to express that during our game. I didn't want to bring people down or anything, but yeah, I wasn't good for a few days. And,
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's just, I think it's tragic and unexpected, and like I said, he was only a couple years older than me, and he didn't have. It's not like he was. If it was a heart attack, it's not like he wasn't overweight. In fact, he was skinnier than I am. He indulged in. Well, he smoked a lot of weed, but I mean, that's not a huge deal. He drank sometimes too, but it wasn't. I mean, he wasn't like a drunk. He wasn't an addict. He wasn't.
Yeah.
We're thinking maybe it could have been like an aneurysm or something. So hopefully we'll find out soon. And it was rough. That was one of the harder parts of my week last week. So. And thankfully I had the game on Friday for us to kind of help. And then and actually Thursday, I actually hung out with Paulie Brady of Stone Clover, the band that does our opening song.
Yep.
And a good friend of theirs. He's been on our show, and he's actually had said he'd love to be on the show again, and we could have
trying to coordinate schedules with him is next to impossible. I mean,
well,
it took us like 6 months to get him on the show the first time.
Well, he's not doing much right now because during COVID-19, he's the quarantine and everything. He's out of work. I mean, he's not gigging right now with the band, so he's a lot easier. But yeah, I got to hang out with him. We had yard beers.
Yeah.
Just kind of sat in the front yard, and I grabbed a 6-pack of Blake's, and he drank a 4-pack of Grolsch, those big old Grolsch glass pop top bottles, and then drank more. And then another buddy, Joe Owens, came over, and so that was nice. That was good. It was something that I think we all needed. We all just kind of socially distanced in the front yard and had our masks with us, but and we all stayed good distance away, and it was but it was nice. It was nice to socialize like that again.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But thanks, guys. Thanks for your condolences. I appreciate that. But yeah. So anyway, to move on to some lighter things and get back into the fun. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking something that I've been holding on to for quite a while. Actually, this is one of the Dragon's Milk Reserves from New Holland. It is the Dragon's Milk, because it's still summer. I figured it'd be a good time to do the S'mores Bourbon Barrel Stout. Which, let's see, which way does that go? I'm still learning my cameras. There it is.
You're good, right there.
It is. Right there.
Right there. Yep. There you go.
It is 11% ABV, and it says hints of toasted marshmallow and graham cracker complement the chocolate character of Dragon's Milk, giving this reserve a flavor reminiscent of campfires and summer nights. Pairings of almond butter, fruit cobbler, and roasted sweet potatoes, which I can't stand those. It is, let's see, when is this one from? This is from, I think, 2016. So it might be 4 years old now. There it is. 17. So it's from June of 2017 is when they came out with it. So it's 3 years old. It is dark, like a stout should be. It has a lot of vanilla notes on the nose. It's actually almost all I'm getting is vanilla. It smells delicious. I'm gonna take another sip here. It's mellowed a little bit over the last few years. It is. I definitely get a lot of the chocolate still, but there's also a lot of the vanilla comes through, and it is kind of reminiscent of marshmallow. I don't get a lot of graham cracker, maybe a little bit at the end with the finish. Most of the bourbon notes are really mild, the actual bourbon. So, but yeah, I love this beer. It's not one you're going to be able to find anymore, except on probably like the beer trading sites and stuff like that. I think I have one more bottle of this still. But yeah,
now you can get Dragon Milk Reserve. I actually just saw it at the store, but you're talking about this specific
one, because what it is they do a different they do 4 Dragon's Milk Reserves a year. They do 1 per quarter, and they change up what it is each quarter. And as far as I know, they haven't repeated yet.
Okay, so, cool.
But this one is one of the first ones they did, and it is absolutely delicious. I've got a bunch of other ones that I'll probably be doing over the next few months. Still down in the basement. Like they've done an orange chocolate, which I think I've done before on here. They've done a raspberry chocolate, which I don't think I have. They got a Girl Scout Thin Mint. Basically, it's a mint chocolate stout, which I only found 1 bottle of that. They did a maple oak one that was really good. They did a salted caramel that was kind of eh. So, I mean, they've done a lot. This one is definitely one of my favorites. I really like it a lot. I think their very first one was a vanilla chai.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one though, yeah, if you ever get the chance to try it, it is absolutely fantastic. It really, truly is very, very good. So, what about you?
Already.
You drinking anything tonight?
Yeah, I've got, this is something local, and it's new. This is an apple cider session, and it's a session mead from Bloom.
Blom.
They are out of Ann Arbor. Blom Meadworks in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This is a 6.2 ABV.
What's it called again? Is it just their cider?
Blom. It's an apple cider.
Okay.
They're calling it a session mead. It definitely has. It's from Blom Meadworks. We make what we like to call session meads: light, dry, bubbly, and easy drinking, similar to like Death Unicorn or Zombie Killer. Crafted with Michigan ingredients, each batch reflects unique seasonal highlights depending on what was in bloom when the bees made their honey. So this is it's on the drier side. There's a little chart on the back that'll here gives it a.
You got to move it over a little. I'm not seeing it in the kit. There we go.
Halfway between medium and dry, so definitely on the drier side. This is okay. You know me. I've talked about how I like my drinks a little bit on the sweeter side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a little sip here again.
Yeah, you can't get enough sweetness in you.
It tastes. I'd have to say it tastes like maybe there's some bourbon-y, barrel-y kind of flavor in here as well. It's nice. It's got the apples come through on the back notes,
mm-hmm.
and it's nice. It's definitely, like I said, it's a dry mead. I like it, but I'd like to see what else this company makes. I think they had a couple of different 4-packs that you could get there at the thing, and I just chose their apple cider. So,
okay,
we'll see. I'm gonna kind of hold my any kind of serious critique from this company until I maybe drink a few more things. But like I said, it's not bad. It's I've had better, I've had worse, but I'm kind of it's fine kind of thing at the moment. So, but if you like it on the drier side, you'll probably appreciate this too. So
cool. Okay. So there wasn't nearly as much this week as there was last week. Oh,
before you get into that, ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:30, so I don't know if the polls have closed yet, but I know since we are live streaming now, hopefully you guys got out and you voted today. I know I did my.
In Michigan, it was the primaries today. So.
In Michigan, it was our primaries, and it's for a lot of other places too. So. Hopefully you got out there, did your civic duty. I know I did. I don't understand why people were making such a big deal out of not going to the polls, because I have never, since I started voting, I have never been to a polling situation where I had to wait longer than 15 minutes.
When I lived in Ferndale, there were a couple times I had to.
I remember when I was a little kid. I remember going with my parents when they went to vote, and I remember having to wait in a longer line. But it might have seemed long because it was because I was a little kid and didn't want to be there. It was more,
10 minutes is a freaking eternity when
eternity.
you're just standing in line.
Right, and considering too, you know.
Oh, there goes Arabella.
Considering too that, I mean, back then it's not like we had a video game that everybody carried with you in your pocket.
Right.
You could just hand to your kid, you know.
You can have one of those old football games, the little where he's got to move the lines to avoid the guys rushing at you.
Yeah, I played those. Yeah, and yeah. So I mean, I walked in. There was 4 other people voting. There was no wait. The women sitting at the table were wearing masks and face shields. There was a gallon jug of hand sanitizer that with a pump action on the thing.
Yep.
That I pumped it and I got way too much.
You get enough to like bathe your entire body in.
I could have covered every exposed skin on me. I could have covered it.
Let me just rub that into my arms and on my face.
I looked at them and I went, "You guys need to put a sign that says don't do a full pump." You know, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And so they laughed, but I mean, I voted, and you know, it's just, hey, great, you know. We need to do this, guys.
Yep.
We need to get these people out because it's getting ugly. And like I said, if you can go to the polls in November, go to the polls, man. I mean, by then, hopefully, COVID will have some progress with the safety features and whatnot. And I mean, I'm just not trusting the whole mail-in thing at this point because of the way. I am not a conspiracy theory guy. But from all the things we've been seeing with the mail-in stuff, and then how they're almost dismantling the mail.
Oh, the post office, yeah.
The post office. How they're seeing like some mail carriers are being instructed to leave some of their mail behind or wait on it or whatever. Their instructors saying, hey, if you don't trust the mail, bring your mail-in ballot and drop it off, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, if that's the case, do it. We have got to do everything we can to get these people out of power because
here in my city we've got a drop box outside City Hall.
Exactly, especially considering the fact that I know we probably have some conservatives that listen to the show. Hopefully we do. I mean, but you know. We do lean on the liberal side here. Most of us. If
they listen to our show, though, they're gonna be at least, you know, they're not gonna be blind. They're not gonna be blind conservatives. They're gonna be open-minded. Yeah.
But like I was talking to somebody today about how she had just moved out of the Romeo area, like 26 Mile, where you don't see a Biden sign anywhere. It's you know, we may see a lot of support for the Democrat agenda, the Democrat political party and everything in this area, in the cities. You may see it on your Facebook feed because your friends are our Democrats. Your friends are going to post that kind of stuff. But remember, out in the rural areas,
it's very red.
Conservatives it's a lot more red, and that is the case in a lot of states, even you know, liberal states like out in California and whatnot. They're, you know, the rural areas are a lot more. Once you get out of the bigger cities, you see a lot more support for the conservatives. So just because you see Donald Trump doing stupid shit, and just because you see people saying, "Oh my God, he's not going to get reelected. There's no way he could get reelected. There's no way," he can still get reelected.
Oh yeah, he can.
He very much.
It happened once. It can happen again.
Yeah. Please get out there and vote and do what you can to spread the word because we need it.
Which he didn't really lose his shit, but he definitely does not interview well. I just watched the Axios on HBO. Their latest episode is actually an interview with Trump, and he just keeps interrupting the guy that's interviewing him. Just
constantly. That's what he did on the Fox interview a couple of weeks ago. He constantly interrupted.
It doesn't let him stop, and then when the guy tries to finish his question, Trump tells him to let him finish, and he's like, no, why don't you let me finish my question?
Yeah, exactly, because he's arrogant and he's just like he can't be wrong. He can't be proven.
He
wrong.
will not admit to anything that is negative. He won't say it. The guy kept trying to ask him certain things, and Trump could not say that anything that was done was handled incorrectly or that it was in any way negative to look on him or his administration.
Right, exactly. Nobody can ever make a mistake in his administration. He is perfect. Excuse me. You'd almost think he's like as delusional as what's his name over in North Korea?
Oh, Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un. That guy thinks he's superhuman. He tries to create this myth that he is superhuman to his people.
Mm-hmm.
That he there is some crazy shit. If you ever watched The Interview, the one movie
I haven't watched that yet.
That was about his father, but it was largely farcical. It was a lot of comedy and stuff, but some of it was really true about how he tried to create this myth that he was superhuman, that he didn't have an asshole. He didn't create waste. He was so perfect that his body was created a perfect was efficient, completely efficient, stuff like that. There was the guy was creating this myth about himself to make himself more to the people, and the people believed it.
Yep.
Over there. So it's almost like Donald Trump, who has a really good relationship with Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un, yeah.
Jong-un.
Well, they do and they don't. They don't really have that great relationship anymore.
No. At one point, they were hanging out.
Yeah, and then everything fell apart. And Trump has distanced all of our allies. So. Oh,
absolutely.
But anyway, enough about that, because
I just wanted to deal with that. Like I said, it is election day.
Yep.
So. And I did get something nice in my memories from Facebook. It was a year ago today that I posted a whole bunch of shit from last year's Eastern Market promo where I premiered my ogre character. It was a lot of fun. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, they broke up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So speaking, you mentioned birthdays earlier. There are a lot of birthdays. I have another friend whose birthday was the first. And there's a birthday on the second now, and then Kelly's on the third, and also on the third is Travis Willingham.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's cool.
I saw a bunch of posts for him on his birthday yesterday for his birthday as well. So happy birthday, Travis!
Yeah. Happy birthday, Travis! Thank you for all you do, brother.
Yep. So yeah, not as much stuff coming out this week as there was last week with the whole Comic-Con at home. I mean,
we got bombarded with Comic-Con at home.
So this is that Comic-Con come down. It's the week after where almost nothing happens in the nerd world. It's like everybody's just recovering from San Diego Comic-Con, and this year it's the Comic-Con at home. But a couple of things that I have seen today, Baldur's Gate 3 is not going to get its early release in August that they said. They're not going to be able to make it. They have fallen behind.
Why you got to hurt me? Oh,
but they are going to have some big announcement on August 18th. And they said that the early release is just around the corner, and that they're going to give more details on August 18th.
Poopy! All right.
I'm really looking forward to this game. It looks amazing.
Yeah. Me too. I've been kind of gearing up. I've been playing some more those isometric top-down games lately. I've been playing Pillars of Eternity, which features a couple of voice actors from from Critical Role. In fact, actually, for the sequel, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, they actually did an entire. I think it's either for Deadfire or for the first game or the second game. I can't remember. I think it was the second game. They did the Critical Role guys did there's like a Critical Role add-on for the game, where you actually they all did their voices for Vox Machina, and you can actually interact with Vox Machina in this game. And but I've been playing, and it's made by Obsidian, who is, I believe, also making the people that made Divinity is making Baldur's Gate 3, I think.
Is that Original Sin? Or
yeah,
the ones that did Original Sin?
Divinity and Original Sin. The thing is, though, I've been kind of getting used to that gameplay again and whatnot. If you guys want to get warm up for Baldur's Gate 3, and if you don't want to necessarily kind of go back and play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 again right now, Divinity is a great game too, but Pillars of the Earth, Pillars of Eternity, god damn my brain. Pillars of Eternity, great game, challenging, but not overly challenging. It's a similar kind of
Larian Studios.
Yeah, Larian Studios. It's a similar kind of like progression, in D&D, of like the D&D games. It is different in that like the races are a little bit different. There's different names for them. There's a very Celtic feel, like the language and the names of certain things, and spells aren't quite as straightforward. You kind of the names of spells. Sometimes you got to read the spell to find out exactly what they do, because the name of the spell isn't as clear. It's not like everything's magic missile or ice dart or lightning bolt or whatever. Some of the spells are a little more esoteric about their description, or their name. But the game itself is really, really great. So you guys, if you want to check that out, I highly recommend it. A lot of fun. So I'm super. God, I'm so much looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3.
I played Baldur's Gate. I didn't play Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh man, Baldur's Gate 2 was better than Baldur's Gate 1, man. It was like, particularly with the expansions and stuff with Throne of Baal, and I mean, it was just like, dude, and you can get it on Steam. You can get the enhanced edition on Steam, and they've even got some, actually, when they put the enhanced edition on Steam, they added some even more newer stuff for both Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I picked up like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Icewind Dale, and Torment, all for like $20. It was crazy. And I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, replayed that again, I think late last year. And they still hold up, man. They're still a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, Baldur's Gate 2 came out shortly after I moved back to Michigan. So there was a lot of other stuff I had going on back then, with buying my house and getting that set up and getting my job going and all that. So, I mean, yeah, granted, it was actually 2 years after I moved back, but still, I was still kind of settling in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks amazing graphically.
Yeah, I think because that's the thing, the graphics have improved so much even since Baldur's Gate 2, which really was only like, it's like 15 years ago.
2013.
17?
2013.
What?
2013. So 7 years ago.
For what?
Baldur's Gate 2.
Are you sure?
Yep, I got it up here. Initial release date, November 15th, 2013. That's the enhanced edition.
That's the enhanced edition. I'm talking about originally. Originally, it came out.
Let's see. Baldur's Gate was 98. Baldur's Gate 2, well, it looks like 2001 was the Throne of Baal.
Yeah, so almost 20 years now. And holy shit, the graphics have improved so much, and they're still going to be able to put out like a really, really solid game, I'm sure. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what they do and how they do it with a game like this. What kind of changes they're going to make. Hey, it looks like oh no, look as we're getting some buffering on the Twitch.
Yeah, I'm seeing a signal issue here. I'm wondering if I'm having an issue with my internet. Again, I'm really not happy with my internet connection lately. It's been some issues. There've been some issues. I'm seeing a lot of delay right now. It looks like in the video stream, and I'm not happy about that. Yeah, I just got 97% skipped frames over the last 2 minutes. Oh, so man. That's not good.
Well, we're still obviously recording, and for those of you guys, if you missed parts of it, you can always go back and check out the show on Thursday if that's for you. So anyway, we could probably move on. Baldur's Gate 3 coming up real soon, and really, really, really excited about that. Speaking of update or kind of updates and stuff, I saw a thing on one of my websites saying that looks like PlayStation is planning another announcement kind of thing, like they did that live stream announcement thing that they did on the PlayStation Network a couple weeks back, or more like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, the PlayStation whatever.
Yeah, it was where they really kind of premiered a bunch of stuff about the PS5. It looks like there's going to be another one coming up real soon, probably in the next 2 weeks or so. So we will, give you guys more information about that as it becomes clear. I know I am looking forward to more stuff from PlayStation. Give me more information. I need it. I want it. Gotta have it.
Well, one of the other things, Disney is announcing that Mulan is going to come to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
With a catch. And the catch is that if you're just a regular Disney Plus subscriber, you don't get it. It is going to be part of their new premium tier, which is going to be $30, and then you'll get access to it. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, that I don't know. That they haven't really said too much right now. It's just kind of, nobody really knows what exactly is going on because Disney hasn't officially announced it. But they did have over $3 billion. They did record over $3 billion in losses in the last quarter. So I've got the article here. Mulan is one of the most anticipated films of the year. This is from comicbook.com. But the ongoing pandemic has made it difficult to bring the movie to theaters. So far, Disney has been forced to alter the release date of Mulan multiple times as COVID-19 spikes continue to delay its premiere. Now, Disney has confirmed in an investor call that Mulan will stream on Disney Plus through a premium access basis that will cost about $30. So far, Disney Plus aims to release Mulan on September 4th using its new premium access feature. Few details about the feature were given during the call, but its cost was discussed. Users will spend $29.99 to access the feature in order to watch Mulan, and many expect it to work like other VOD services. Like, I'm not paying $30 just so I can rent other things on VOD.
I don't know, man. I think this looks more like it'll cost $30 just to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, honestly, it's a little pricey, I'll admit. But I would say that, say you've got a room full of people that are going to watch it. Say you got 5-6 people, $30. You split that 5-6 ways. I mean, I guess I can kind of understand. It's still cheaper than going to the theater and spending the money on the theater. Now, if Disney thinks that they're gonna be able to get by with a $30 subscription fee, they're crazy pants.
Oh yeah, they are.
No fucking way. There's no fucking way. But if they were to have a VOD kind of situation where you you have to pay for on demand for certain things that are brand new, I don't know if I'd be too mad about that. I mean, to see things like Black Widow and some of the other things that have been delayed, I'd probably pay VOD through Disney Plus just for that specifically. I just don't think, but there's no way I'd pay $30 for just the Disney stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. They're not saying that this is going to be any other movies, and that Mulan's still going to get a limited theatrical release, It's
yeah,
just
where the Disney Plus is not available.
Yeah. But yeah, they're saying that they are reporting that they have suffered a $3 billion loss because of the pandemic's effect on business. And I don't doubt that because they've had to have their parks closed for 3-4 months.
Right. And even with them closed, there's still their attendance is way low.
Yeah.
For what normally they'd be seeing. Yeah, I just ran across a Baldur's Gate delayed from August thing too. Yeah. So yeah. Well, what are you gonna? I mean, I get it. They're still a company. They still got to make a profit. I just, I don't know if this is the right way to go about it, or the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got, I posted the new trailer for The Boys.
I saw that just before I started getting ready for the show.
It is their second trailer for Boys season 2. A little more blood, a little more lasers, a little more detail.
Lasers.
Like. Yeah. I think I'm excited, man. I'm excited more and more for The Boys season 2. It's really looking like it's going to be fucking awesome. I think that premieres at the end of the month.
Yeah, it's the 31st, I think.
Today it's come September. No, it's
Oh, is it September now?
Like,
I thought it was August 31st.
It says the final trailer for The Boys season 2 is here, and oh boy, is there a lot to unpack. The 3-minute teaser not only fleshes out new Soup and a member of the Seven, Stormfront, but also previews some of the bloody and brutal set pieces we can expect from Amazon Prime Video's superhero series come September.
September 4th, yeah. It's September 4th.
So still right around the corner, thankfully. It's going to be pretty great. So guys, check that out. It's super bloody.
Yeah,
definitely not
just before Labor Day weekend.
Right. Almost right before Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it's the Friday before.
Right. Yes.
And speaking of new shows and stuff like that, Umbrella Academy 2, I started watching it.
I did as well.
And I'm seeing now that they're being called out for anti-Semitism on the show.
Okay, I watched the first 4 episodes.
I've only watched the first episode. I guess at one point, the one chick, I forget her name now, but the main villain chick, the really nasty bitch.
Yeah.
I guess she says something at one point in Yiddish, and they're saying that she didn't have to say it in that, and it's making it out to be that Jews are villains, and so it's an anti-Semitic thing because she speaks Yiddish.
I mean,
she could have spoken any other language, but
okay, all right, fair enough. They couldn't have concentrated on the fact that they were I watched the first 4 episodes, and it's not a big surprise, but the team is stranded in the early 60s. So
yeah,
we know that the time of the show is set right before Kennedy's assassination in Dallas. Not oned that it's showing it's the beginning of the civil rights movement.
Yeah, they
showed civil rights demonstrations. I mean, Allison, the rumor gets involved with them, being a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
She gets involved, and I mean, that was pretty awesome, showing how awful.
Well, they show when she first. I've only watched the first episode. They show her get there, and she wanders into a diner, and they all just stare at her.
And they point.
And the guy behind the counter just points at a sign that says "whites only."
Right. I mean, and it goes in the further episodes. It goes into more detail about that, and I mean, it's blatant how much it's shown how terrible black people were treated in this country, and that's what people should be concentrating on, about how the show is spotlighting and showing the struggle. And that's amazing. Not somebody throwing away a Yiddish word.
I'm going to reserve judgment until I actually see that episode. But that's just something that I was reading today and I didn't want to read too much because I don't want to have spoilers for the show.
Right.
Because I really do want to enjoy it, because I do enjoy that show.
I'm trying to remember whether I've seen it yet or not.
I don't think so, because I think it's in one of the last episodes.
Okay. But yeah, I watched the first 4 episodes, and it's great. It's fucking genius. The show's great. Really, really cool.
I'll tell you what, dude. The kid that's in that show, number 5,
Yeah.
he's only 16 years old.
Yeah.
And he is the best actor on that show.
He was like 14 when they started filming it.
He is fucking amazing. He is an incredible actor. I can't wait to see where his career goes from here. Renee and I were talking about that, and I'm like, he's one of those though that he may just decide that he wants to go to college and do something else. But I kind of hope not, because he is such a talented actor. I see Oscars in his future.
I agree. He's extremely talented. I was talking to Stella about him last night because she hasn't watched the show yet, and I was talking about how he really is one of the best actors on that show. He does a great job at 14 to 16 years old, playing a guy that a really messed up dude that's in his brain is like 80.
Yeah, he's like 60 or 70, I think it is.
Yeah, maybe 60 or 70, and has been through some horrible stuff. So. Yeah, I mean the guy's amazing. The kid is a serious talent.
Yeah, he really is.
Speaking of things on Netflix, I'm hearing really good things about the new show Cursed, which is an Arthurian legend centering on the perspective of NWA, the Lady of the Lake, and I believe it's very different from your typical Arthurian legend, but people are saying really good things about it. So people may want to check that out. Also, the movie Old Guard, the new one starring Charlize Theron. Some really great stuff. People are just raving about it. Haven't watched it yet, but is soon on my list. Going to get to that as soon as possible. Charlize Theron is really really showing that she is stepping up when it comes to the action films lately. Doing a lot more action films in her, in her career, in her 40s. She hits her mid 40s and decides, or early 40s, and decides to do more action, and she kills it, man. She gets out there and she does all kinds of all of the as many of the stunts and whatnot that she can. It's pretty awesome. So, guys, you might want to check out The Old Guard as well.
Yeah. That we just watched that actually over the weekend as well, and it actually it was really good, and it is definitely like a pilot. The way that they left it off and everything like that at the end, it's I'm like, there's no way that they're not going to either do another movie or a show based on this, and actually
at least a further movie, I'd say.
Yeah, and seeing some of the recognizable faces in there, not just Charlize Theron, but you got the guy that played Mordo in Doctor Strange. He's the one dude that winds up helping him at the end. The main bad guy, Merrick, in there is the guy that played Dudley Dursley in Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was funny. I was watching the trailer for that, and I'm looking through. I'm like, holy shit! And I handed the phone to Stella. I go, hey, check this out. Who is that guy? And she took her. Stella doesn't really have a thing for faces. And I'm like, think about him being a kid and chubby. And she went, oh my God, is that Dudley? And I go, yeah, it's fucking Dudley, man. So, I'm really looking forward to catching this one relatively soon. Also, a new Transformers cartoon has premiered on, or animated series has premiered on Netflix as well. It's getting really good reviews too. I haven't watched it yet, but it's like Transformers War for Cybertron or something like that. I'm hearing really great things about that as well.
That's cool.
Good stuff. All kinds of good stuff coming down the pipe. For those of you guys, if you guys have checked out some of these things, please let us know what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about some of these things as well.
That is, if people can hear us on the stream right now, because it looks like we're still having problems. So
looks like we're having a lot of problems here. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the issue is.
I think I'm having internet issues or something, because it's just been red for the last 20 minutes. So I'm not sure what's going on. Because I can monitor the stream here, and it's not looking good. I am using a new program, but I don't know if that's what I don't think that's what it is. Looking at it, it looks like my CPU and everything's fine. It's just skipping frames. Yeah, skipped frames detected 100% over the last 2 minutes. Yeah, I've now got 59 dropped frames, which I didn't have earlier. But yeah, I'm at...
So, apparently, CD said they can hear us.
Okay, cool.
Well, at least if you guys can hear us, then that's great. So, if you guys check out the, I mean, that's at least something. You know,
yeah, that's good. That tells us that at least we're not having that issue. So,
yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Well, then, in that case, moving on. So somebody said to me, I was playing MechWarrior yesterday, and somebody said made me laugh, and I think it's something I've kind of heard before. You're out of frame to us. You lean over that way, and you. But we were talking, and somebody said something about we started talking about Star Wars, and this is all as we're getting ready to go into a fight. So we're all sitting there talking, and a Star Wars chat came up, and this guy said something about the fact that he believes that Yoda was actually a Sith Lord, and his reasoning is because he said, "Do or do not. There is no try, and only Siths deal in absolutes."
Oh my god! Oh my god! What kind of neckbeard is trying to call Yoda a Sith? What kind of fucking?
That actually kind of makes sense. I like that better than the fact that fucking Jar Jar Binks is a secret Sith Lord.
That's all bullshit. You know what? I am the first person to enjoy things like, you know, alternative stories or theories and stuff like that. I'll listen to that shit. I've even read some fan fiction. You know, Stella has written some pretty good Harry Potter fan fiction. You know, I usually try and embrace different kinds of theories and stuff. That is some horse shit. That is the worst bullshit ever. I mean, what the hell? Yoda is not a Sith Lord because of a slip of the motherfucking tongue. Right? He said that in Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
The ideas and the
I just thought it was
all
funny.
that other stuff hadn't even formed.
Well, and that's the thing though. It's one of those things though that yes, you're right. There's no way Yoda was a Sith Lord, but the fact that he actually did say something like that, and then later they actually say that only Sith deal in absolutes, but yet in that instant from later on, Yoda actually is dealing in absolutes.
It was a teaching tool, man. He was trying to teach
the Sith ways.
Oh, shut up. I swear to God, fucking hate that shit. God damn it.
So the video's locked up. They can still hear us, but the video's locked up.
Yeah. I saw an article saying some more PlayStation stuff coming up. Apparently, the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4 controller will be able. You can still use your PlayStation 4 controller, but only for PlayStation 4 games on the PS5. If it is a PS5 exclusive game, you'll have to use the PS5 controller.
Okay.
Simple. Yeah. Well, they wanted to make it clear because almost pretty much all of the other peripherals are completely compatible, but it's because of the pad, like when you're, the pad thing, that is only going to be available on PlayStation 5 games. Oh. So it's just a matter of going, oh, okay, well, I'll Bluetooth my PS4 and, whatever if you're playing a PS4. Otherwise, just use your PS5 controller.
I'm just if that's the case, I'm just going to use the fucking PS5 controller no matter what, because that way I've got it.
Every other kind of peripheral, all the PSVR stuff, all of the remotes, the cameras, all the other shit is going to be completely backwards compatible and completely compatible.
That's cool. That means camera will be. I don't have to get a new camera.
Right. So also, they made some announcements about the new Avengers game. And it's going to have timed exclusives and cosmetics on the PlayStation and free skins for PS Plus. So PlayStation's working really closely with this new Avengers game. In fact, Spider-Man, they did reveal that Spider-Man was going to be an add-on character for later on, like in 21, Spider-Man, but it will only be for the PlayStation 5 version. My bet is maybe the Xbox version will have a different kind of character or some other character that's exclusive. They've also said that Hawkeye will be a character that will be coming along later as well. So Sony and Crystal Dynamics announced another round of PlayStation exclusive content for Marvel Avengers today, including a suite of time skins and free bonuses. For starters, the PS players will get access to certain cosmetics for each hero, both starter heroes and post-launch heroes, 30 days before Xbox and PC. This includes one legendary skin and emote, one epic takedown animation, and one nameplate per hero. In a similar vein, PlayStation Plus subscribers will receive a free rare skin, a nameplate, and 100 in-game credits each time a post-launch hero is released. This includes a launch bundle for Ms. Marvel. So they are going to be releasing a lot of exclusive stuff. It sounds to me like, although there is a in-game first-person, story, and there will be additional content that will be added on to that, there will also be doing, like, there's probably going to be a lot of online content and online play as well. So it says, technically, none of the additional content revealed today is outright exclusive. All of the cosmetics outlined above will be available on Xbox and PC a month after their PS4 release. And while Xbox and PC owners won't receive them for free, they will be able to earn or purchase the skins and nameplates distributed through PS. Nevertheless, between Spider-Man and this suite of trinkets, it's clear that Marvel's Avengers is pretty noticeably skewed toward the PlayStation. PS4 players will also get early access to Marvel's Avengers beta, which will open in blocks throughout August. You can find a full schedule. Okay, there. So anyway, looking like some cool shit, man. I'm really excited about this Avengers game. I think it may be one I might have to pick up before I buy a PS5.
Well, we talked about the fact that they said there's going to be a free upgrade to PS5, so
that's the other thing that's pretty awesome. Yeah, a lot of that game, and I think some other games too that are going to be coming out as well. Isn't the new Star Wars game too?
That I don't know. The one I'm curious about is Cyberpunk, because that's supposed to be out before the PS5, and I don't want to get it on the PS4 if I'm just going to have to get it again for the PS5.
Yeah, well, I've got a bunch of games that I haven't even played yet. I'm still working on. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 3, which is like a year and a half old now at this point. And that's a ways. I've got a ways to play in that game yet. So I've got a good probably 6 months of gaming before I'm even remotely, be even close to finishing the games that I have kind of like lined up on my shelf.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of games too, but it's one of those things where I really want to play Cyberpunk. I've been waiting for a game like that for a really long time, and it's between
we all have
between that one and what is it, Bloodlines 2? I mean that's another one that there's too many games coming out this fall.
Yeah, there really are, and I agree. I'm super duper excited and really, really want to get the game too. But I also don't ever get the first round of a gaming system. I usually wait until the second or third. Not necessarily iteration, but I don't get it right as it comes out. I'll give it a couple of months. Let the
hubbub die down.
The hubbub die down a little bit. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be good luck trying to get one at Christmas time. There's probably going to be a pretty big clamoring for them. So yeah, I'm still really excited though. I mean, Cyberpunk looks immense. It looks huge and really beautiful, and I'm really, really looking forward to excited to play that game. I mean, I really like CD Projekt Red. They make a good game. Witcher 3 is still. I saw a friend of mine who's got a YouTube channel. She started playing it, and so she's streaming, while she's playing it and whatever. And I just watched a few minutes of her kind of play it. I'm just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful and it's so good. Like at one point, she's in the opening scene where you're in the bath with
Yeah.
Yennefer, and you get up and you get out of the bath, and she just when she stepped out onto the balcony, she went, holy shit, just how beautiful
Mm-hmm.
the game itself is, and that's just, and she hadn't even gotten to any combat or anything. She even talked about how it was funny how she's like, she was holding her controller, she's I haven't done anything because the cut scene was so
Yep.
extensive. But yeah, I mean, they turn out a really, really good game, and I just know that this game is going to be another one like it. I've been actually really kind of chomping and like kind of hankering for some Bethesda too. Like I've been thinking about picking up since they made the big update and up to Fallout 76, pulling that game up again and giving it another shot, because they did the upgrade with Wastelanders, so now that there are NPCs in the game and you can interact and there's a better like first person game now. I'm thinking about picking that up again too, because there's a building aspect too that I really enjoyed, and maybe even playing a new game of Fallout 4 and modding it a lot and seeing what I can do with that game as well, and because that was also a fucking great game, really great game, and I really enjoyed the building aspect. I mean, that was great. I really hope that when they make that the next Skyrim that comes out, there's a building aspect where you'll be able to not just, I mean, in Skyrim you could they would sell you land basically, and then you could build houses on these lands, and you could kind of custom how you wanted the layout to be, but you couldn't really build it like you can in Fallout, and you can't like give it like 5 flights and and all these different it's a lot more limiting.
Yeah.
Whereas in Fallout you have there's no limit. There's really no limit beyond just making sure you get the supplies to build those things,
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool, really fun.
So,
and yeah,
I'm starting to think the stream issue is actually with my computer and not with my internet, because my internet seems to be working okay when I search for stuff, and when I just did a ping test, everything seems fine. I think it might be with my computer having trouble processing and then streaming it out. I thought I had a strong enough computer to do it, but it may be that this new program that I'm using uses more resources. Although it says that my CPU is fine. My memory should be fine because I got like 32 gigs, I think, of memory. It doesn't show me that when in the stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, my CPU is at 50%, and we're streaming at 30 frames per second. But it says we've got 0.3% dropped frames, but it keeps telling me that it's skipped 98% of the frames over the last 2 minutes. So it's skipping a lot. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're the tech guy. I don't know what to tell you, brother.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's something I'll have to look into. This was an experiment tonight to try and see if I could get this to work, because it does have a lot of other features, like I can run everything from one window rather than having 3 different windows open, which I had to do before. So.
Okay. Well, it looks like we might have to go back to doing it the old way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else? I thought I had 1 or 2 other things that I was going to talk about, and now I can't remember.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot out there that I saw. Like I said, I was looking stuff up. So this is that lull after Comic-Con. There's very little. Everybody blows their wad at Comic-Con, and there's not a whole lot that comes out afterwards.
Exactly. I did also post just last night on the Facebook page it's a short kind of interview / documentary when they're talking to Alex Ross. Alex Ross is pretty much one of the comic book industry's like 800-pound gorillas. He is an amazing painter, an amazing artist, and he does fully painted comics and covers and stuff. But he's been working pretty steadily since the mid-'90s. He's amazing. And if you get an opportunity, just want to check out, it was just on YouTube, and it's a great interview with him. It's almost inspiring. I mean, the guy is he's one of my idols artistically. He's incredible. Like, he's an incredible artist outside of being a comic artist too.
Yeah.
So does some really, really amazing work for both Marvel and DC. And then some other stuff too.
So I'm seeing that the upcoming Kingsman prequel, The Kingsman, is actually, they're saying now that it will set up Kingsman 3.
Oh.
The third edition in the film. Or the series.
Okay.
They said that it will set all that up, and that's actually supposed to be out in the middle of next month. It's supposed to be an actual theatrical release, so we'll see what happens with that and whether it gets pushed back. That's another one I'm really looking forward to. I really enjoy that series. It is just enough camp to go with the ultra-violent action to make them very entertaining.
And this new one, The Kingsman, looks a lot more serious too. It doesn't look like it looks like they might have dialed back some of the camp and some of the high tech kind of silliness that we saw in the last one. Like I said, I enjoyed them both. I thought they were a lot of fun. But this new one looks like it's a little more serious, maybe a little darker at the very least. But yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Those movies are a blast, man.
Dude,
really
that bar fight scene.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah,
both of them, because the one in the second one where he's kind of getting his ass kicked and then like tequila steps.
Well, yeah, but just like where he locks the door and then uses his umbrella to hook the glass and flick it backwards. Manners
matter. And it's just some really, really great stuff. All the gadgetry is really fun, and the various different like guest stars and stuff. The villains. Hell, Elton John.
Elton John being held hostage.
Being an ass kicker, kicking with wearing the platform shoes, and it's. If I save the world, can I have a backstage pass? One of your can I tickets to one of your concerts? It's like, darling, if you save the world, you can have a backstage pass. You can have a backstage pass. So, some really, really fun shit. That was some really great stuff. I don't understand. In this day, what we're dealing with right now, I don't understand why video on demand has proven to be a viable way of distributing a film. A lot of people, as much fun as the theater is, and as much as I enjoy going to the theater, it's particularly with how people have these massive fucking televisions now. Seeing a movie in your living room is not like it was when we were kids. When you even if you had a nice TV, it still wasn't the same. Now almost everybody has a high def television, a 4K TV. Something that still the movie still looks impressive. They should just put these movies out on VOD, on video on demand, or on some kind of service. You could the PlayStation service, Amazon Prime, whatever that you have, and we can still see these movies. These things that they're delaying forever. Like I said, Black Widow should have come out by now. All right, I'm pretty sure that it got moved back and it should have come out. Wonder Woman, The Kingsman, Mulan, all these movies, just put them out on video on demand, and I'm sure that it will do well. And then in 6 months, just put it on one of the services like you would, and release the DVD like you normally would, or whatever. Or put it on video on demand, and then 3 months later, then release it on DVD with the extras and everything else, or Blu-ray or whatever. They'll make their money. They'll make some money at the very least. It may not be quite the same, at least until the theaters open up again. Otherwise they're just sitting on this property and they're losing money.
Well, and that's like what they're saying about the whole thing with Disney doing this thing with Mulan on their premium service, there's people are now like, what's going to happen? Are they going to start doing that with other stuff like New Mutants? They've been sitting on this property for 3 years now.
3 years, at least, a little over 3 years. Mm-hmm.
So, what's going to happen with that? Are they going to wind up releasing that on some sort of VOD thing?
Hey, look at it. Look at Bill and Ted Face the Music. I mean, they're releasing it on VOD on September 1st. It's like I'm sure it was originally supposed to get a theatrical release.
It was.
But they just kind of went, well, this is it. Let's put it on VOD. Now that movie was probably not near as expensive as say Mulan or or Black Widow or Wonder Woman, but still it had to be multiple millions of dollars.
I'll say probably not in the ways of special effects budget maybe, but I mean you still got Keanu Reeves' salary.
Yeah, but him. He's not gonna. He probably would have said, I'll work for scale or whatever. He said, $2 million. Or whatever, as opposed to the, 12 or 15 or $20 million he demands for a normal movie. He probably was like, hey man, this would be fucking cool. Let's do it. And he might even donated his fucking salary to charity.
He very well could have. He very well could have.
Yeah, so like I said, any of this stuff, it just needs to be like I want to see the shit again. I want to see this stuff on. I'm not paying $30 to see Mulan live. The live action Mulan.
I'm not either.
I'll wait. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be fucking cool. But I'll fucking wait. I'm not paying $30 to see that.
I still haven't watched the new Aladdin or Lion King.
I own the new Aladdin. I bought that because I like Will Smith, and 2, I always liked Aladdin. And it's great.
I actually liked Aladdin. Renee's watched it. She said it was really good. So
it is. It's really great. It's really great. But I haven't watched The Lion King yet. It is on Disney Plus. I'll probably get around to watching it. And I've heard The Lion King was also really, really cool too. Speaking of streaming services, so the Peacock, which is NBC's streaming service, it finally came to the PlayStation Network. It was supposed to come out or premiere on like the 21st or 22nd, and for whatever reason, just didn't show up until like 2 days ago, and 2-3 days ago. I tried to sign up for it on the PlayStation Network. I couldn't get it to go through. I put in my email address and I put in a password, and then I just couldn't get past it. So I queued it up on my phone, signed up on my phone, and then I was able to, once I was signed up, I was able to go, hey, I already have an account, and I was able to sign in through the PlayStation. And now I'm not paying for it. It's still in the free mode for me. From what I understand, it is one of the least expensive ones, because I talked about there's 3 tiers. There's the free, there's free, there's paid, and there's premium. Mm-hmm. Free is a number of things for free. Paid is everything, but with some commercials. And then premium is everything without commercials. I gotta admit, man, particularly for a free service, the free part, there is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like show-wise, yeah. Just off the top of my head, Battlestar Galactica. The newer Battlestar Galactica, the remake. Mm-hmm. Psych.
Yeah, I saw that they actually came out with like another Psych movie too.
Yeah, there's 2 Psych movies and the entire show. A lot of the stuff that was on Sci-Fi Channel, so Eureka.
Oh, see, for me that might be worth it right there, because Warehouse 13 on there?
Yes.
Oh my God, that show is so good, and I want Renee to see that show so bad.
The last 5 seasons of Face Off. What else? I would imagine maybe the first few, the first, because there were 13 seasons of Face Off. Maybe there were different studios or something, so the rights are a little, wonky or whatever. But and the entire runs of some of these shows. Now, some of the shows you can watch a couple episodes from, but then if you want to watch the entire series, you have to, pay for it. Saturday Night Live, going all the way back to the beginning, all of the seasons, free. So, I mean, hi, Dresden. Yeah, I know. There is actually, like I said, it's so hard being a dog, you know? There was quite a bit on the Peacock. I gotta admit, like for a free service, they've got it going on. There's a lot of really a lot of good content on that thing. A lot of sitcoms, a lot of classic television. So yeah, you might want to check it out. I won't pay for it. I probably won't pay for it unless certain things go off other things, like SVU, Law and Order SVU. You can watch the entire series of Law and Order SVU on Hulu, but on the Peacock you got to pay for it. You got to pay. You know, it's part of their premium. So. There's also, they have a great deal of movies. There's quite a few movies that I'm like, huh, okay. Like I said, Battlestar Galactica isn't streaming anywhere else. Like, it's not for free anyway. It's not for free on any other services. It used to be on Hulu. It's not anymore. You can get it you can buy it on Prime, but you can't otherwise, you know. I mean, there's no other places. There were a few things that I saw that I was like, huh, I haven't seen this streamed anywhere else. I think Eureka is actually available on Hulu as well. So if you ever kind of
okay,
I think so.
That's another great show.
It might be. It's either on Hulu or on Netflix, one or the other. I remember it being on one of those two. So anyway, for those of you guys who are interested, you want to check it out. Like I said, the free version of Peacock. Quite a bit.
And I just looked up the plan comparison. It's $4.99 a month for the premium and $9.99 a month for the plus.
Still one of the cheapest ones there. You know, I gotta admit, even for $5, even if I gotta eventually pay for it, if it stays at $5, I'll buy it. I'll do the $5 with commercial whatever thing, because there really is quite a bit. Yeah. So anyway, guys, if you want to check that out, that's my personal review. There's a lot of stuff, even if it's just for the free stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like it stopped. It looks like our video is unlocked again.
Oh, okay. So that's good.
It's moving again. It's still a little choppy, but at least it's moving. Also, I got caught up on Stargirl last night.
I still haven't even started that.
Well, they've got one more episode left in the season. It's a 13-episode, primary, first season. It's really good. It's really fucking good. I gotta admit it. I went into it going, this might be okay, and then and I've been really, really impressed. Like I said, the guy playing her stepfather, one of the Luke Wilson. He's been really fun, really cool. Doing a great job being like this kind of ex-superhero sidekick that was always kind of overlooked a little bit among his peers, but doesn't really resent him all that much. He's still just kind of like, hey, I did what I had to do, or I was, I helped and
I helped.
Talk about a lot. They talk about a lot of the legacy of Justice Society. They've left a lot of things wide open to expand more characters. They said that the JSA was killed, but they were like kind of vague about some of the characters. Like Green Lantern and the Flash are both been real vague about. They have his lantern, but he said that. But the lantern's useless without the ring, so we don't know where the ring is. So they could have somebody else maybe finds the Green Lantern ring, and then there's the magic pen that holds Johnny Thunderbolt's genie has been shown. Dr. Fate's mask or his helmet has been shown. They haven't introduced him at all yet either. So there's a lot of really cool room for expansion, and the fact that the show is going to be going on, it is on the CW, it's on the DC app, the DC streaming service first, then it goes to the CW. Next season it will be on the CW. So that means we'll probably see it eventually on Netflix or probably on HBO Max.
That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be HBO Max because that's where all the DC shows are going to wind up.
Yes, exactly. So, really cool, guys. If you want to check out a great show, Stargirl. And the DVD set, if you don't want that, you just want to buy the DVD set, the Blu-ray set, I believe it comes out in September. As does, I believe, so does Batwoman. So, Stone Clover Cozy. How cute. Nothing like chilling for our sponsors.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
hey,
it's our friends that let us use their music. So
our friends that let us use. Yeah, exactly. The interesting thing I forgot to mention. Like I said earlier, I was been playing Pillars of Eternity, and I got to a certain part of the game, and the music is really great. And I got to a certain part, and I'm like, man, this music sounds really familiar. It sounds really familiar. And I realized the music in this one section of the game is the same music they play during the middle of the show interlude, where they show all the fan art.
Oh, on Critical Role.
On Critical Role, yeah, that's what I meant. On Critical Role, that's where I jumped on. On Critical Role, in the middle of the show, they always have an interlude. They have a break where they take a break and they show fan art during it, and they play this music over it. And I was like, I've heard it so many times. I usually just tend to just tune it out and just like look at the art or whatever.
I usually skip it.
I was like, oh yeah. Well, I like art.
I do too, but it's like I want to get through the show, so it's one of those. I would love to sit and watch the art, but a lot of times I'm listening to it like while I'm working or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just like, nope, skip over that and just play this. Get back to the show, and so I can get back to work.
Honestly, me too. A lot of times I feel bad because I have to skip over it because that's one of those points where you kind of want to, you do want to.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and stare at the screen otherwise, and I got shit I got to get done.
Right, exactly. So I'll tend to like.
As it is, every once in a while, I do glance over to see because there's some sort of reaction or something like that, and I'll glance over at my laptop, and I'm like, all right, I need to rewind just a little bit and see what the hell that was because.
Yeah, me too. I've done that too. And stuff. Yeah. So,
yeah, I finally got to episode 100, so I'm past the COVID break now.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'm still in the early 70s, I think. So I'm catching up. I'm fucking catching up. I haven't listened in about 2 weeks though. I've been trying to catch up on other things and do some other stuff.
Dude, I hadn't listened in almost 3 months. I'm like, they were on break, and I just stopped listening to it, and I hadn't even gotten to the end of that show, the last show. And it was just one of those things where I wound up doing other things, and I was always busy.
You're not even done with... Yeah, but you're not done with Vox Machina yet.
Oh, hell no. I'm only like in the 70s, I think, on that one.
See, you should have taken the time to get more caught up on Vox Machina.
Dude, there's only so many hours in a day. I'm doing this show. I'm playing video games. I'm trying to stay up on TV shows so that we can talk about them on this show.
I get it. I know. I feel ya.
This show isn't just an hour and a half every week. There's a lot of time that goes into like playing video games and reading articles and
it's called making content.
Yes, it's called making content.
Being a content creator. Yep. Exactly. We want to try and make shit interesting for you guys. I don't know.
We hope we do.
Yeah. I think so too. That's about an hour and a half. I think we should maybe wrap things up.
Yeah, I think that's about it. That's about all I had. That's about all I had tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm trying to think if there was.
One thing.
Else.
So I know you're looking at us on Twitch, so you can see it. But do you see the names above our heads here?
Yes.
Do you notice what I did with those?
Well, one is in yellow and one is in kind of a pink.
Well, it's not really pink, but one is yellow with a black outline, and the other one is red with a blue outline.
Oh, I see. I do.
Yeah, the outline's a little thin, but still.
Batman.
Yep. Yeah, I figured you'd get
very
that.
Very clever, Chris. I guess it does look kind of red. My screen, it's kind of it skews a little into the purple. But it's probably the blue surrounding the red.
It was. I mean, it's not perfect, and like I said, this is just the first time I'm playing around with some of these things that I can do on here. So I'm still learning all this shit.
Well, yeah, we all are, man. I mean, I got a friend actually who was saying that I guess he's starting to do a podcast or something like that, and was complaining about the editing process and about how the time it takes to cut out like thought pauses and dead air and things like that, and myself, I said, my podcast partner, the program he uses honestly automates some of that stuff. Excuse me, like does a lot of that for us, thankfully. Otherwise, it would probably take you a good, at least an evening just to edit.
It used to take me more time to edit the show than it does to record the show.
Exactly. Holy shit,
And now a lot of it is the part of this. The point with this show, though, was that we are just sitting around talking in the basement. We wanted people to think that they were there and involved, and now they can be, which is great. I love having interaction. And I'm really sorry about the video issues that we had tonight, but because I know that makes it tough. But that's actually what I wanted. So a lot of times I leave a lot of those thought pauses in there because it's us sitting around talking. We're talking nerd shit, and that's what this whole podcast was based on was our conversations about nerd shit.
Yeah, you don't want it to sound too. You definitely don't want it to sound too rehearsed.
Right.
So, it's funny actually. It reminds me. I was listening. Stella has never seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We about a month ago we watched The Hobbit, the 3 movies of The Hobbit, because I kind of wanted to give her a little warm up, and I figured, why don't we watch it in the order of the story as opposed to the order of how the movies are made. And she enjoyed it. She was like, okay, this is cool. I get it. So I go, okay, we're gonna watch the Fellowship of the Ring. I've got the extended version, so it's over 3 hours. So prepare yourself. And she was like, okay, just get ready and just hunker down. Make sure you go to the bathroom and whatever. And,
well, at least you can pause it.
Yeah, you can pause it, of course. Thankfully. I have them on DVD. I don't have them on Blu-ray. They're these beautiful DVD sets, and it's really cool. She loved it. She liked it better. She loved the Fellowship of the Rings better than the Hobbit movies. And I go, that's generally the consensus. People enjoyed the Hobbit, but most people feel like it was a little bit more of a cash grab, and that the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship, Two Towers, and the Return of the King, much better. I
actually haven't even seen the second 2 Hobbit movies because I was so unimpressed with the first one that I'm I didn't make it a point to make sure that I saw them in the theaters, and since then I haven't bought them. I don't own any of the Hobbit movies.
That's too bad because I did, and they're still good. They're not quite as good.
They made shit up to fill.
They did. There was a lot of space.
I'm like, the shortest book is 3 movies.
Yeah. Well, they added things from the Silmarillion and Silmarillion. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, they did create some. They added some other stuff in. It was that pissed off some Tolkien purists, especially considering how careful they were with the Lord of the Rings, trying to get as close to Tolkien's vision as they possibly could. So, and the cool thing was, I watched as well after I got done watching the movie, and Stella went to bed, and I'm always up later than she is, and I watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that was included on the DVDs because it's each of the older like extended version DVD sets have 2. It's actually the movie itself is on 2 DVDs, and then there's 2 more DVDs of all of the special features and some really, really cool stuff. They go into like how they worked on the scale and the body doubles and the makeup and how just how massive of an undertaking this movie, the creation of these 3 movies were. And it's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, if you want to look at some really, really great like extra footage stuff, that's definitely something I would recommend. A lot of people skip over the extra shit on a Blu-ray or a DVD. On the Lord of the Rings ones, man, there are some really, really cool stuff, particularly if you're a big fan of the films.
Yeah, I personally think that I would have been happy with The Hobbit being 2 films and every one of the other ones being split into 2 films.
Yeah, I think the original trilogy could have easily made those into a 6.
I think they could have done a trilogy of trilogies, but I think a 6.
They could have, but
I think that would have been a little too much.
That might have been stretching it.
So I think 2 movies for every book would have been fantastic. They could have done even closer to what his vision was. They could have kept other characters in there. They could have done the whole when they first take off and meet Tom Bombadil and they're in the cairns and stuff like that, and because that was one of the coolest parts of the book for me was when they travel through the Cairn Hills.
They even talk about like leaving Tom Bombadil out and about how that would have just made the movie so much longer, and that certain scenes like just didn't translate well from the book to the movie because it just would have been so much exposition and so much conversation, like the original, like the forming of the Fellowship when they're sitting in the council and they're like, it took a long time to film just what they had filmed, and if they had decided to extend it even more, it would have been nuts because they really did some. There was a lot of writing and there was a lot of refilming and a lot of script changes and constantly refilming stuff and everything. I mean, like I said, the bonus stuff on the DVDs are really like great for explaining all of the things all the work that they did to make those movies. And but yeah, I think you're right. I think if they had made it 2 movies out of each of the 3 books of the Lord of the Rings, I think that would have been closer. But that's the thing, though. If you watch the extended versions are, like I said, over 3 hours long. They add about a half an hour, and they don't just add in like scenes that they didn't finish and stuff. No, they went in and fucking finished all of those scenes that they originally were going to cut out, that they originally cut out of the theatrical release. They finished them. They put in the special. They finished up the special effects. They called in the actors for ADR, and they said, no, these are going to be like the extra stuff. And honestly, it added some really great stuff in, and so I highly recommend it, particularly if you're a big fan of those.
And one of the things I've said in the past as well is that if you look at those books, to truly do them the way that he wrote those books, you would actually almost have to make each of those a musical, because music is so important to the culture in those books.
Right.
And they bring it in some.
Yeah, and it's another reason why in The Hobbit, they're at the very beginning, they do have the song in the first movie. They do have the song,
the dwarf song, where they're cleaning the dishes.
The dwarfs, where they're cleaning the dishes.
That is my favorite part of the entire movie.
It's really great. And then there's also the scene where they're singing, Under the Misty Mountain and stuff.
Oh, that song, man! Whenever that comes on my playlists, it's like I just love that song, and I love that deep voice of the guy that sings it.
Yeah. So, but like I said, they said the kind of Tom Bombadil was one of those things that they kind of had to make a decision on, So, I mean, but anyways, there's a lot of really great like kind of stories, and like there are interviews with some of the cast, and they talk about like Viggo Mortensen he came in later because originally they had cast somebody else to be Aragorn, but they realized they'd maybe cast a little too young. So it was the guy that actually played Lestat in Queen of the Damned. Townsend, something Townsend. And so they bring in Viggo Mortensen. He had actually never had any sword training.
Oh.
He had never worked with swords before. And he came in and they gave him like essentially a crash course in hand-to-hand, sword fighting and fencing and stuff. And he took to it like a duck to water. He carried his sword everywhere with him. Like he brought it when he went to a restaurant to eat. He had it next to him, and like at one point, I guess the cops got called on him because he was like walking down the street with a sword in his hand, or so whatever, on his hip, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And
that's what Jim Carrey did with the cane for Riddler.
Yeah. Although that's the other thing. I mean, like, he even talked. They also talked about like they made many different weapons, right? They would make a rubber weapon for safety things. They would make an aluminum weapon for the combat, so it was lighter. They'd have the real steel swords for the up close, the close ups and everything. Viggo Mortensen, the only weapon he used was the steel, because he wanted to feel the weight, and he wanted to feel just like the strength of it, and how tired he would be when he was swinging it, and the energy that it would expel. So the guy's, he's method, so he gets in there, and it was pretty cool. Like Stella has always liked him, so she didn't even realize he was in the movie. I was like, Viggo Mortensen. She goes, oh my god, I love him. And then after we got done watching it, she looked up all bunch of stuff about him. Apparently, he's a poet and he's a painter, and he speaks like 7 different.
Yeah, I just saw that today. Actually, I saw an article on him that he speaks like 7 languages.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm going to order one. So she just ordered a poetry book for him. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. We just got done watching the first season of True Detective again, and she's always obsessed with, what's his name?
McConaughey?
McConaughey, yeah, Matt McConaughey. Thanks, babe. She was all obsessed with Matt McConaughey. Now she's obsessed with Viggo Mortensen. I don't know. I can't compete. I don't know what's up. So anyway, we should probably wrap things up.
Yeah, we were going to wrap things up like 10 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago, yeah. Before we get into another fucking tangent like we do. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. You guys, you can find us. You can download us and or stream us on all the places you can find quality podcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, radio.com. And, of course, you can get us at our website, nerdswithalcoholshow.com, as well as on Twitch and on YouTube as well, Drinking Nerds. Guys, check us out.
Yeah, and we just had somebody ask if we'd seen Willow, and hell yeah, I've seen Willow many, many, many times.
Many times. They are working on a Willow TV show that is going to be on Disney Plus.
It won't be starring
Warwick Davis is involved.
And that's great, but it won't be the same without the same brownies.
Or without Matt.
Yes.
Because you know he's not going to come.
No.
You know he's not going to.
But yeah, so anyway, you can follow us on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds. We are on Instagram, Drinking Nerds. And we are on Untapped, the beer app. Just do a search for Drinking Nerds and send us a friend request, and we'll get you added. So.
Absolutely.
All right, well. I think that's going to about do it.
Yes, that's about it.
So on that note.
So on that note.
Until next time. Slancha.
Well,
that was pretty good. All right, have a good week, everybody.
Good night.